There is a truth that cannot be ignored. If you do not value yourself, no one else will truly value you. The way you see yourself sets the tone for how others treat you. A woman who understands her worth carries herself with a strength that is unshakable. Her energy communicates that she will not settle for less than respect, dignity, and love rooted in sincerity. But when a woman ignores her own value, she allows the world to decide her worth for her. And the world is often careless, sometimes even cruel. Valuing yourself does not mean arrogance. It is not about pride or superiority. It is about recognizing that your life, your time, and your heart are precious. It means creating boundaries that protect you from harm, while still keeping your heart open to those who deserve it. It means saying no when something violates your integrity, and saying yes only when it aligns with your growth and peace. Self-value is not selfishness, it is self-respect. And without self-respect, no relationship, no career, no dream can truly flourish. Many women are taught to give endlessly, to serve, to sacrifice, to put others first. While compassion is beautiful, it becomes destructive when it empties you completely. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot bring peace to others if you are at war with yourself. To value yourself first is to recognize that you must be whole in order to give in a healthy way. It is to understand that love offered from strength is far more powerful than love offered from desperation. When a woman values herself, she becomes unshakable in the face of judgment. She does not need approval from the world because the number R, because she already approves of herself. She does not chase attention because she knows her presence is already enough. She does not cling to relationships out of fear of loneliness because she understands that solitude is not weakness. It is a place where strength is built. This self-value makes her radiant, not because of what she demands from others, but because of the quiet confidence she carries within. So, the first and most important step is this, that is the number R, they yourself, before asking the world to value you. From that foundation, every choice you make will come from clarity, not desperation. Every relationship will be built on respect, not compromise. And every dream will be pursued with strength, not fear. When a woman values herself first, she becomes not only a source of light for her own life, but also for everyone who walks beside her. The way a woman views herself becomes the unspoken signal she sends into the world. People around her observe her actions, her tone, her boundaries, and they adjust their behavior accordingly. If she values herself, she naturally communicates that she expects respect, honesty, and care. Without even saying a word, her presence makes clear that she will not tolerate mistreatment. But if she does not value herself, others quickly sense it as well, and some will take advantage of that weakness. In this way, self-value becomes the standard by which the world decides how to treat you. When a woman lacks self-value, she often accepts less than she deserves. She may remain in relationships that drain her or tolerate words and actions that wound her spirit. She may settle for jobs where her effort is overlooked or give her time away to people who never appreciate it. This happens not because she is weak, but because she has not yet set her own standard high enough. The absence of self-value invites others to decide her worth, and most of the time their judgment is careless or even selfish. On the other hand, when a woman learns to value herself, everything changes. She no longer accepts crumbs of attention because she knows she deserves genuine love. She no longer tolerates disrespect because her boundaries are firm and clear. She no longer sacrifices her dignity for acceptance, because she understands that true belonging cannot be built on compromise. Her self-value becomes a filter that protects her, allowing only what nourishes her growth to remain in her life. This is not arrogance, it is wisdom. Self-value also teaches others how to engage with her. A woman who respects her own time communicates that it is valuable, and so others respect it too. A woman who treats her body and mind with care shows others that they should treat her with care as well. By holding herself to a high standard, she silently instructs the world to rise to that same standard. People may test it, but eventually they recognize that she will not bend. And through that firmness, she earns not just respect, but genuine admiration. It is important to understand that self-value is not about seeking validation. It is about creating an inner foundation that no one else can shake. When a woman carries herself with self-value, she no longer depends on others to define her. She sets the tone for her own life, and others follow. In this way, self-value is not just an inner quality. It is the force that establishes the entire framework of her relationships, her work, and her future. It is the beginning point from which everything else unfolds. When a woman learns to value herself, the next natural step is creating boundaries. Boundaries are not walls meant to shut people out. They are gates that decide what enters and what does not. They are a clear expression of self-respect. Without boundaries, anyone can cross into your life with their demands, their negativity, and their disregard. Over time, this leaves you drained, disrespected, and often confused about who you are. Boundaries are the structure that protect your energy, your heart, and your sense of self-worth. Too often, women are taught to feel guilty for setting boundaries. They are told that saying no is unkind, that refusing someone's request is selfish, or that prioritizing themselves is wrong. But the truth is the opposite. Without boundaries, you cannot protect the value of what you have to offer. Imagine a beautiful garden left without a fence. Animals trample it, weeds overrun it, and soon its beauty disappears. In the same way, a life without boundaries quickly loses its strength and dignity. Boundaries are not cruelty. They are preservation. When a woman draws healthy boundaries, she communicates to the world, my time is valuable. My emotions are valuable. My presence is valuable. This does not mean she shuts everyone out. It means she chooses carefully who and what deserves her energy. Those who respect her boundaries remain and flourish with her, while those who only wish to take advantage naturally fall away. The process may feel difficult at first, but with each boundary set, her life becomes clearer, lighter, and more peaceful. Boundaries also protect relationships rather than destroy them. When you make clear what is acceptable and what is not, you prevent resentment from building. People who truly care for you appreciate the honesty of those boundaries because they know where they stand. The conflict arises and when expectations are hidden and needs are ignored. Boundaries bring those expectations into the open. By doing so, they preserve respect and strengthen bonds. A relationship without boundaries is fragile, but a relationship built on mutual respect for boundaries can endure. Most importantly, boundaries protect your inner worth. They remind you that you are not obligated to carry everyone's burdens, that your life is not a tool for others to use at will, and that your value does not diminish when you choose yourself. A woman who sets boundaries is not selfish. She is wise enough to understand that her energy must be guarded. Only then can she offer her best to the world, not from a place of depletion, but from a place of strength. One of the greatest misconceptions many women carry is that they must constantly give, even when they are exhausted. They pour themselves into relationships, into their families, into their work, until there is nothing left inside. They believe that sacrifice without limit is the highest form of love. But in truth, giving from a place of emptiness is not love, it is depletion. You cannot bring peace, joy, or strength to others if you are at war within yourself. True giving comes from abundance, and abundance requires that you first take care of your own needs. When you neglect your own well-being, your giving becomes unhealthy. Instead of offering kindness freely, you begin to give with resentment. Instead of helping with joy, you feel bitterness. Your sacrifices no longer come from strength, but from fear. Fear of being rejected, fear of not being enough, fear of losing approval. And over time, this kind of giving drains not only you, but also the relationships around you. Because when you are empty, what you offer others is not love, but a shadow of love mixed with exhaustion and pain. Learning to value yourself means understanding that caring for your own body, mind, and spirit is not selfish. It is necessary. Resting when you are tired, saying no when you are overwhelmed, pursuing activities that nourish your soul. These are acts of preservation. They refill the well from which you give. A woman who invests in her own well-being can show up stronger, calmer, and more present for those she loves. By caring for herself first, she ensures that her love remains pure, consistent, and sustainable. It is also important to recognize that self-care sets an example for others. Children learn how to treat themselves by watching their mothers. Partners learn how to respect you by seeing how you respect yourself. Friends learn how to value you by observing how you protect your energy. When you constantly give without replenishing, you teach others that your needs do not matter. But when you balance giving with self-care, you show them that true love includes respect for yourself and for others. Ultimately, you cannot sustain a life of constant giving without first nurturing yourself. To give from emptiness is to eventually break down physically and emotionally. To give from fullness is to uplift, to strengthen, and to inspire. A woman who values herself enough to remain full creates a life where her presence becomes a true blessing, because her giving is authentic, not forced. It is chosen, not demanded, and it flows from strength, not from desperation. Confidence is not something the world can hand to you. It is not built on compliments, applause, or constant approval. Those things are fleeting. And when they disappear, so does the fragile sense of worth they create. Real confidence is rooted within. It comes from knowing who you are and honoring yourself regardless of how others see you. A woman who values herself does not wait for external validation to feel strong. She carries her strength like an inner flame that cannot be extinguished by judgment or neglect. When you rely on the opinions of others for confidence, you place your self-worth in fragile hands. One negative comment can shatter your spirit. One rejection can make you doubt your value. But when your confidence is built within, you stand steady even when others criticize or misunderstand you. Their words may sting, but they do not define you. You understand that your worth is not dependent on approval, but on the quiet certainty of who you are and what you stand for. This inner confidence also frees you from the exhausting chase for attention. Many women fall into the trap of trying to prove themselves through appearances, achievements, or constant availability. But this kind of chasing never ends, because external approval is never enough. True confidence makes that chase unnecessary. You no longer need to be noticed to feel valuable. You no longer need to be chosen to feel worthy. You know your worth before the world affirms it, and that knowledge radiates outward in your presence, your words, and your choices. Confidence born from within also changes how you approach relationships. Instead of clinging to others out of fear of being alone, you choose connections based on respect and authenticity. You do not compromise your dignity to keep someone in your life, because you understand that solitude is not a punishment. It is a space for reflection and growth. A woman who carries inner confidence would rather walk alone in peace than walk with others who diminish her. That kind of strength reshapes the quality of every relationship she enters. Perhaps most importantly, inner confidence makes you resilient. Life is unpredictable, and even the strongest women face failure, rejection, and loss. But if your confidence comes from within, you can endure these hardships without collapsing. You bend, but you do not break. You adapt, but you do not surrender your identity. This resilience is not loud or boastful. It is steady and unshakable. And it is only possible when confidence grows from the inside out, rooted in self-value rather than the shifting approval of the outside world. The way you treat yourself silently teaches others how they are allowed to treat you. If you constantly put yourself last, accept disrespect, or dismiss your own needs, you show the world that this behavior is acceptable. But when you carry yourself with dignity, respect your time, and honor your own worth, you set a standard. People learn quickly whether they can take advantage of you or whether they must step into your life with respect. A woman who values herself creates an atmosphere where only those who truly honor her can remain. This principle applies to every relationship, family, friends, colleagues, and partners. If you allow people to disregard your boundaries, they will. If you allow them to exploit your kindness, they will. But the moment you make it clear that your value is not negotiable, everything changes. Those who wish to stay must rise to the level of respect you demand. Those who cannot will drift away. This may feel painful, but in truth it is a cleansing process, because it removes those who only diminish your spirit and leaves space for healthier connections. Setting a standard for how you deserve to be treated is not arrogance. It is responsibility. You are responsible for protecting your worth, for teaching others how to interact with you, and for preserving your dignity in every situation. Too many women wait for others to recognize their value, but recognition starts with the self. The world reflects what you radiate, and if you radiate self-respect, others are compelled to meet you at that level. This standard setting also impacts the next generation. When children see their mother respecting herself, they learn what respect looks like in practice. Sons grow up understanding how to honor women, and daughters grow up understanding how to honor themselves. Your example becomes a living lesson, more powerful than any words. By valuing yourself, you do not just raise your own life, you raise the consciousness of those around you. Most importantly, when you set the standard for your worth, you gain freedom. You are no longer trapped in cycles of people pleasing, no longer weighed down by toxic relationships, no longer chasing validation from those who cannot give it. Instead, you stand firm in the truth of who you are. And from that place of strength, you attract the kind of people, opportunities, and experiences that match your value. By valuing yourself first, you make the entire world meet you at a higher level.